The party video that changed everything. Subscribe before you watch. Some friendships were meant to stay buried forever. The graduation party video was found 25 years later in the school archives. The first few hours were normal. Young people dancing, having fun, planning their futures. But the last 10 minutes of the video should never have been filmed. Because in those final 10 minutes, the camera was in someone else's hands. It wasn't steady. It was shaking, filming secretly. And the 7 friends were disappearing one by one. Someone who wasn't supposed to be there was watching them. When Rachel Morgan returned to Lincoln High School after 25 years, she learned that the school was doing archive cleanup before demolition. As a documentary filmmaker, she was working on a project about her old school. But what she found would open the door to a story she never expected. "We don't know who put this tape here," said school principal James Patterson. "We opened the archive room for the first time in 20 years. No one knows about the tape inside." The tape only had June 25, 1999 graduation party written on it, in handwriting, in an unfamiliar script. Rachel took the tape home. She connected her old VHS player and started playing it. The first images were normal graduation party footage. Lincoln High School gymnasium was full of balloons and decorations. The 1999 graduates were dancing, laughing, hugging each other. The camera was steady, shooting from a professional angle. And then Rachel saw them. 7 friends had gathered in a corner of the hall. Rachel remembered them. They were in the same class. Jessica Martinez, the most popular girl in class, had won a college scholarship. Mike Thompson, basketball team captain, going to Stanford. Ashley Chen, valedictorian, going to study medicine at Harvard. Ryan Davis, band lead singer, moving to Nashville. Emma Wilson, art club president, going to France. Tyler Brooks, math genius, accepted to MIT. Sarah Campbell, theater club star, going to study acting in New York. 7 bright young people, 7 different dreams, 7 different futures. But none of them would remain the same after that night. The video continued. Friends danced, took photos, had fun. It showed 10 o'clock p.m. At 10:30 p.m., the friends left the hall together. The camera didn't follow them. At 11:15 p.m., the video cut out. But at 11:45 p.m., it started again. And this time, everything was different. The camera was no longer steady. It was shaking, filming secretly, and the 7 friends were disappearing one by one. Someone who wasn't supposed to be there was watching them. First, it found Rachel. She was sitting alone in the library, reading a book. But the library wouldn't be open at midnight. And why was Rachel there? The camera approached Rachel. When the girl saw the camera, she smiled and waved, like she was waving to someone she knew. Then the camera found Mike. He was playing basketball in the gym, alone, at midnight. This didn't make sense either. When Mike saw the camera, he smiled too. "Hey, you're there," he said. "We were waiting for you." The camera found Ashley next. She was doing experiments in the laboratory, at midnight, alone. Ryan was playing guitar in the music room. Emma was painting in the art studio. Tyler was solving problems in the math classroom. Sarah was reciting a monologue on the theater stage. All alone, all in places they shouldn't be at normal hours, and all were happy when they saw the camera. As if they were waiting for someone. The video spent the next 10 minutes visiting the 7 friends one by one.
It found each one in their own field, doing their passions. And then the camera started convincing them to gather together. "Come on, come downstairs," said the voice behind the camera. A male voice, adult, unfamiliar. "Everyone's waiting downstairs." "In the basement?" Jessica asked. "Yes, there's a surprise for you." The friends didn't hesitate. They found each other and walked toward the basement. The video followed them as they went down the stairs. The basement was the oldest part of Lincoln High School. Old classrooms, storage rooms, forgotten corners. "This way," said the voice, "in the old music room." The 7 friends headed that way, and the video cut out there. Rachel stopped the tape and rewound it. She watched the last 10 minutes again, this time more carefully. Who was the voice behind the camera? Why did the 7 friends seem to know him, and why did they go to the basement without any hesitation? And more importantly, the 7 friends were never seen after that night. The next day, Rachel researched old newspaper archives. She found the news from June 26, 1999. 7 students disappeared at high school graduation party. 7 students attending the Lincoln High School graduation party disappeared last night. The students were seen during the party, but their traces were lost afterwards. Police investigation continues. Rachel continued. Days passed. The news always reported the same thing. No traces. No clues. The 7 young people had seemingly evaporated. A week later, there was no other news. The case seemed to have been closed. Rachel tried to find the police chief from that day. Robert Kim had retired and moved to Florida. When they spoke on the phone, the old man was still affected by that night. "I had never seen anything like it," Kim said. "Do 7 young people disappear at the same time? No fight? No problem? It was as if it was planned." "Was there anyone you suspected?" "There was a school security guard, Henry Marshall. There was something strange about the man, but we couldn't find any evidence. 2 months later, he disappeared too." Rachel began researching Henry Marshall. The man had started working at Lincoln High School in 1995 and disappeared in 1999. There was no trace. But Rachel didn't give up. She went back to school, this time to investigate the basement. Principal Patterson accompanied her. The basement hadn't been used for 25 years. Dusty, dark, forgotten. "Where's the old music room?" Rachel asked. Patterson showed her the way. At the end of the corridor was an old door. It was locked. "We haven't opened this room for years," Patterson said. "The key was lost." Rachel tried to force the door open. After some effort, the door opened. Her breath caught when she saw what was inside. The room wasn't empty. There were 7 tables, 7 chairs. On each table was a plate, a glass, half-finished food. As if 7 people had been eating there and suddenly left. But 25 years had passed. The food should have rotted. The plates should have been broken. They weren't. Everything looked fresh, as if it had been left yesterday. Rachel looked at the walls. Posters were hanging. Photos of the 7 friends, university acceptance letters, future plans. And there was a note on the wall, in handwriting. "Now none of you will be separated. You'll all be together, forever together. H.M." H.M.? Henry Marshall? Rachel took out her phone and called the police. 30 minutes later, the school was full of police cars. Forensic teams examined the room. They analyzed the food. They took DNA samples. The results were horrifying. There were sedatives in the food, strong doses.
When the 7 friends ate that food, they must have fainted immediately. But where were the bodies? Police searched the entire basement, every room, every corner. And they found them in the old boiler room. 7 coffins, wooden, handmade, carefully prepared. Each coffin had a name on it: Jessica Martinez, Mike Thompson, Ashley Chin, Ryan Davis, Emma Wilson, Tyler Brooks, and Sarah Campbell. The coffins were empty, but inside were personal belongings: graduation yearbooks, photos, letters, and the same note was in each coffin. "You don't need to go to university. Now you'll stay here, with me, forever." Rachel's blood ran cold. Henry Marshall had kidnapped the 7 friends. He wanted to kill them, but why? She found the answer in Henry Marshall's old apartment. Police had searched the apartment and found photos and diaries. The diaries told a horrifying story. Henry Marshall was 45 years old, had never married, had no friends. He was a lonely man. But he was watching the 7 friends. For 4 years, he had observed them, photographed them, made them an obsession. He wrote in his diaries, "They are perfect friends, always together, always happy. When they graduate, they'll be separated. This is wrong. They shouldn't be separated from each other. I will make sure they stay together. I will protect them. The outside world will corrupt them. University will change them. But I will make sure they never change. The plan is ready. On graduation night, I will take them. We'll all stay together, forever." Henry Marshall had made a crazy plan. He would kidnap the 7 friends, keep them in the basement, and they would live together forever. But the plan had gone wrong. The last diary entry was from June 27th, 1999. "Everything went wrong. I was going to put them in the coffins after they fell asleep, but someone woke up. Jessica woke up and started screaming. The others woke up too. They tried to escape. I tried to stop them. I just wanted to talk, but they were scared. Very scared. It was an accident. I didn't want to hurt them, but..." The diary ended there. Police continued searching for Henry Marshall, but 25 years had passed. The man could have died or escaped to another country. Until Rachel made another discovery. While watching the video again, she noticed the echo of the voice behind the camera was strange, as if it was coming from a very large, empty space. Rachel returned to school. This time she brought sound technician Peter Kim with her. They played the video in the school basement. Peter analyzed the acoustics of the voice. He said, "This voice isn't coming from this corridor. It's coming from a larger area, much larger." Rachel looked around. Where could be a larger area in the basement? And then she realized the old boiler room, very large, empty space. They went to the boiler room. Peter did sound tests. "Yes, this is here," he said. "The video was shot in this room." But the video was shot in 1999. Was Henry Marshall still here? Rachel examined the room more carefully. In the corners were old blankets, food boxes, personal belongings. Someone was living here for 25 years. And just then a voice came from behind them. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Rachel turned. A middle-aged man was standing at the door. His hair had turned white, his beard was long, his clothes were dirty. Henry Marshall. He had been secretly living in the school basement for 25 years. "Are you Henry Marshall?" Rachel asked. The man smiled. A very sad, very tired smile. "You're also looking for my friends, aren't you? They're gone. They left a long time ago." "What happened that night?" Henry sat on the floor. He looked very old. "I loved them. I watched them for 4 years. They were such beautiful friends. They never fought. They always had fun together. But they were going to graduate. They were going to be separated. You kidnapped them. I tried to protect them. The world is very bad. University would corrupt them. But they didn't understand. They were very scared. Where are they now?" Henry's eyes filled with tears. "They escaped. That night they pushed me and ran away. I never saw them, but I know they're safe because I protected them." I understood. The 7 friends had managed to escape. Henry Marshall's plan had failed. "Why didn't you turn yourself in to the police?" "I was waiting for them here. Maybe they would come back. Maybe they would understand. But they never came back." Police arrested Henry Marshall. He was a criminal wanted for 25 years. But where were the 7 friends? Had they really escaped? Rachel continued investigating, and she found them. Jessica Martinez had become Dr. Jessica Carter, a pediatrician in California. Mike Thompson didn't play in the NBA, but became a high school coach. Ashley Chen graduated from Harvard and does cancer research. Ryan Davis went to Nashville and became a music producer. Emma Wilson didn't go to France, but runs an art gallery in New York. Tyler Brooks graduated from MIT and works at a tech company. Sarah Campbell didn't become a Broadway actress, but became a school teacher. They were all alive, all in different cities, building different lives, but none of them talked about the details of that night. Rachel tried to talk to them, but none of them responded. Until Jessica responded one day. "We don't want to talk about that night. It was very horrible, but it's over. We're safe now." "Why didn't you go to the police?" "We did, but no one believed us. They said Henry Marshall was just a security guard, that he couldn't do such a thing. They closed the case." "Do you talk to each other?" Long silence. "No. We never talked after that night. It was too painful. We all went to different cities. We built new lives." Rachel understood. The 7 friends had been saved, but their friendship had died that night. Henry Marshall died in prison 3 months later, at age 70. The video still sits in the Lincoln High School archives, but no one watches it anymore. Because some nights, just surviving is enough. Friendship, dreams, future plans, they can all wait. If you're watching this video, take care of your friends, but don't try to control them, because true friendship is freedom. And sometimes the safest place is away from each other. Don't forget to subscribe, because this story isn't over. We're investigating Henry Marshall's other victims, and what we're learning is much more complex. Would you risk your life for your friends, or would you risk them to try to save them?